Hi, I'm Phil Libin, the CEO of mmhmm, and I want to talk to you about something very important to us, which is how we think about your data, your privacy, and your experience using mmhmm. In fact, we made 3 laws. Now, these are very simple, and they're not meant to be a replacement for agreements or legal contracts. They really are guiding principles about how we think about the product that we're building, the company that we're trying to make, and frankly, the world that we're trying to help. So 3 laws about how we think about your data and your privacy and your experience. The first law is really basic. It's your data is your data. This means that your data does not somehow magically become ours just because you use mmhmm. It's still yours. You are lending it to us. You are giving us permission to use your data in order to provide our service, in order to run our product, but it doesn't magically become ours. It isn't ours. It's still yours. You could take it back anytime. And we have to do everything possible to keep your data private and to keep your data safe. But it means we have to default to your data being private. That unless you specifically say that you want to share it, we can't see it, we can't look at it. That's how we build a system. Other people won't see it. Unless you specifically decide that you want to send it to someone or publish it or send it to us, no one sees it. And we have to use best practices to keep your data secure. Of course, we can never guarantee outcomes because it's a really complicated world, but it's very important for us to understand and to internalize the fact that you are trusting us, you are lending us a very valuable asset that we have to safe keep for as long as it's in our possession, but ultimately it's something that's yours. The second law is even more basic. It's this, it's the product is the product. Now, you often hear people say, usually about tech companies, well, if you're not sure what the product is, you're the product. That's very much not true for mmhmm. You're not the product, you're the customer. Our product is the product. This is a business model law. It means that the way that we make money is very much the old-fashioned way. We make money when people or companies want to pay us for using our product. We make money by selling things. We don't do anything with your data that tries to monetize it. We're not trying to analyze it and sell it to multiple third parties. We're not using it to try to target ads. We only have direct revenue only. This is important because it aligns interests. It means that what we want as a company is very much what our customers want. We want to make a product that you find so useful that you want to pay us for. This law also makes it much easier to adhere to the first law because since we have zero incentive to do anything clever with your data, it's a lot easier to keep it private by default and to keep it secure because we don't need to have it floating around in lots of places. I think a lot of tech companies and products get into trouble when they try to be clever with your data because they need to for monetary reasons. And we don't because we're old-fashioned about how we make money. And the third law is our community is our community. That means that we recognize that we are building our community. And as the organizers or the hosts of this community, we have a responsibility to make sure that the members of our community and the wider world that the community exists in have a healthy and positive and useful experience, which means that we are committed to spending a lot of time and money on sponsoring and promoting and featuring and highlighting and creating content for our community that we think exemplifies how to use mmhmm to really improve your life or your livelihood or your job. And we're committed to spending a lot more on that, hundreds of times more on the positive stuff than we're going to spend on getting rid of the stuff that we think is bad and unhealthy. But that second thing is also our responsibility. We're trying to make a community, and as the hosts, it is our responsibility to make sure that if we see something that we think is unhealthy, that we think is harmful, we're going to remove it. We're going to take it down. Now, this can't violate the first law, which is everything is private by default. So if you're just using mmhmm privately, like on a video call or something, we can't see what you're doing. So we wouldn't know what you're using it for. But as soon as you make it public, as soon as you take the specific step to, for example, record and publish a movie using mmhmm like what I'm just doing right now, if we think that it's harmful to our community or to the world, we're going to take it down. Now, how do we decide what's harmful? Well, initially, we just have to decide, and we know we're not going to get it right all of the time. And as we mature, we have to come up with more and better processes for deciding and for being fair about that. But even though we know we're not going to get it right all the time, we have to start with an acknowledgement that it's our responsibility to try. And so our community is our community. We're going to spend a lot of time and money promoting and creating and sponsoring and highlighting the good stuff. And it's also our responsibility to get rid of the bad stuff. So those are the three laws, and they sound really basic, right? They all sound like tautologies. They're all like A equals A. The your data is your data. The product is the product. Our community is our community. And I think the simplicity is what's important. What's important is that a lot of tech companies can't say something as simple as this because that's not how they built their model. And I think a lot of conflicts and a lot of problems in the world arise because we don't have that simplicity. So we want to go back to a very simple, very old-fashioned business model. Let's just say these three things very clearly. And I think if we do that, then I can really build a better world. Thanks.